Hey, Keondre, you got me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. Good to see you. Hey, just out of curiosity, so the portion of practice we get to watch, kind of those three or so periods after stretch, it seems like Coach Davis is doing a lot of teaching, working on hand placement, ball get off, kind of some of the simple things. What are those periods like where it's not necessarily about physicality, but it seems like it's more about teaching you guys those nuances of playing D line?
Because it's, first of all, it's early in the stage of fall camp, so he's trying to reintroduce us of striking our hands, moving our feet a lot, and that's what he does every day. We work on that, and the more times we work on that, the more times you work on stepping with the right foot, striking your hands on the bag, and constantly coming off the ball. It's going to obviously come through the rest of the practice, and then most likely through the season. So that's what we work on. Yeah.
Kirk, go ahead.
Yeah, Keondre, I was doing something on DeMarvion. I was curious how much you think he's grown, especially as a leader after just 1 year at linebacker.
A lot. If it's not DeMarvion, it's the whole team. But DeMarvion has grown a lot. Out there calling the calls, out there making plays for us, motivating us to keep going when we're tired. He does it all.
Joe, go ahead.
Keondre, I know last year when Coach Ash came in, they implemented a new tackling way of teaching y'all how to tackle. How does Coach PK and these coaches, how do they teach how to tackle, and how's that been going so far? Yeah. How'd that go today?
It went well, actually. It went well today, tackling, because that's what we work on every day. Some type of form of tackling. That's what PK preach a lot. If you don't get them to the ground, then what you doing on defense? So it's not just like we doing tackling drills every time. Actually we do tackling circuit, turnover circuit that we do a lot after every stretch. If you see that, the whole offense, the whole offense is doing that, because if they throw a pick, then they have to find a way to get the ball back. We're working on that. And then Coach Davis, in different positions, work on different styles of tackling. So I'm not going to always be in the 2-point stance, shuffling my feet, making a tackle. I'm getting hit, a double team, getting off, making a tackle. So that's what we do, work on different styles of tackling.
Michael, go ahead.
Hey, Keondre, I wanted to ask you about Bijan Robinson. Going against him in practice, what makes him so hard for opponents to stop him?
Man, I say this every time. The fact that you don't know if he's down, you have to make sure he's down. Literally, you have to make sure he's down. I don't care if he is down. Still push him. Make sure. Take that flag. But he's going to constantly keep running. This dude never runs out of energy. And he smiles when he runs the ball. It's kind of weird. But, he does it. He's a hard worker, and he's going to keep playing after every play.
Thank you.
Sam, you're up.
Hey, Keondre, of some of the newcomers, whether it's guys that have transferred in or some of the freshmen that have income in the summer, some of the guys that have stood out to you?
I'm going to start off in my position room. Byron Murphy, that kid right there, if not, he's going to be the best defensive tackle come through Texas right now that I see in my own eyes, seeing every day. That kid right there is probably the best pass rusher. I say that from each time, but from the past 6 days, I don't even think he lost the match yet. It's very explosive. And then you also got other people in different rooms. You said transfers. I'll be saying the name. I'll be calling him a different name, but Ovi, man, that kid right there, really this energy. Like, he constantly keep going after the ball. You go see him every time around the ball. Them two cats right there are the ones that really stood out to me right now.
Nick, you're up.
Yeah, Keondre, I wanted to ask you about Alfred Collins. What kind of growth have you seen from him? And then just, off the field, what's he kind of like just as a guy that you've gotten to know over the last year or two?
You think AC quiet until you know him. He's funny. He loves to dance. That's one thing about him. He's going to dance all the time. I don't know
why.
Is
he a good dancer, though?
Oh, yeah, he's a great dancer. I don't know why he's not a TikToker right now, but he's a great dancer. But on the field, the kid, all of us, we all take the time in. We try to learn from Coach Davis. That's a great coach right there. And Coach Davis and AC are always talking about little things. It's not just about everything, little things like my step here. He always asking questions. He always on his stuff about if he did something wrong, even though if he did it good. He's always on his stuff trying to get better and better, and I like that from AC.
Cole, go ahead.
Keondre, just want to get your thoughts on David. He played both linebacker spots this past spring, and now that he's been working alongside with DeMarvion, just what have you seen from him overall?
Like I said, this defense overall runs to the ball, and David's always the first one there. I literally seen a play yesterday from David. They got pushed from the back, stood up, and chased the quarterback and tagged him. This energy, just fast, just get into the ball. He wants to make plays. And his communication has got very better, like on the field, telling us what to do, knowing me and him, like not to give our plays up when we're going against the offense. He really got in that playbook a lot, to where like he's telling me what to do sometimes. And Davis really is showing himself this fall camp.
Cedric, you're up.
Hey, Snacks. Coach Shark says that Kerstetter is cutting it loose after that tough injury in the rehab. Someone has gone up against him over these last few years. What are you seeing from him and those guys up front?
For some reason, I don't think Kerstetter lost anything. Kerstetter was always a good offensive lineman, and that injury, sadly to say, just was a step back. But he did everything he can to get back, and he obviously is back. I'm happy to have him back. And them guys are good. I mean, you're going to lose some, you're going to win some. And any type of offensive lineman that they're not going to take the loss and sit there and pout. They're going to constantly get better. Every time you go on the field, Junior is screaming, I want you. And I'm sitting there like, you know, it's period 10, like chill out. Like, but I mean, it's the fun, because if they're having fun, I'm having fun. I like that. And the whole group are trying to get better. Like with Jake, as a young cat, that kid right there is really matured a lot. Knowing the cause, telling me some of the stuff that I give away, and I tell them some of the stuff, like just communication. That's the whole thing, is when I give it my all and they give it their all, it helps us better, because we go against each other, making each other better. So the offensive line is doing very good this year.
Two last ones. Danny, you're up.
Keondre, at Big 12 Media Days, you kind of said you felt like a freshman going into your first camp with Sark. I'm kind of wondering, has it felt that way, like 2018 all over again? Has there been anything surprising that stood out about this camp so far?
You want the truth? I was just playing. Yes. Nothing. I mean, it's new in the way that we did this in spring, but it's the fact that it's fall camp and it's actually getting close to football season. Just different from that. To where he's taking each moment serious. We had a walkthrough yesterday, and we kind of jumped our sides, and instead of him like next play, he told us like, this is serious. Even though it's a walkthrough, take this serious, because you're jumping off sides in this, I'm gonna jump sides in the games. So it's just different. Feeling as a freshman year, because every day is something new. Like we sitting there like where we practicing at, in the bubble or Dennis, DKR, like we don't know what's happening. It is just it's just new, and also it's just, I mean, you're used to it. It's day 6. If you get used to it yet, then something wrong with you. So yeah, I don't feel like a freshman no more right now. At first I was day 2 and day 1, but right now, nah.
Last one for Keondre. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Keondre, we saw in the spring game, you know, Morrow came out and had a big spring game. And I just want to ask you, where is he for still, even though 3-4 years into the program, he's still one of the youngest guys in the program. Just kind of where is he in terms of, you know, physical maturity, overall maturity, and what kind of camp has he had through these first 6 practices?
Oh, Morrow has man, that dude right there has really took it upon himself to get better in his own way. Constantly seeing him watch film. Every time I come in there before practice, or when it was time to go off, we go in there, he's watching some type of NFL player. Mostly Aaron Donald. I told him he's not like Aaron Donald, but he's trying to show ways like Aaron Donald. But his pass rush, man, he has really improved in that, and it makes me want to improve in it, and it makes other people want to improve in it, because when he win, I want to win. And just him constantly telling me on the field, because at first it used to be me trying to tell the calls to everybody. He telling me sometimes to call when I'm tired or when we're both tired. But it's just him being young. He really not young to me. It's a joke I always say, but I ain't gonna say it. But he ain't really young in a way. But inside the football building, he's really old to everybody. Everybody look up him as a leader. He is a leader, actually. He's very smart, and he helps out a lot.
Hey, Bijan. Of course, there's a great long line and legacy of Texas running backs, Earl Campbell, Ricky Williams, of course. Do you think about that at all? Are you trying to carry on their legacy in any way?
Well, you know, it's a blessing that, you know, first off, it's a blessing that we have, you know, running backs like that came before, you know, us right now in this generation, and how they set the example for not just me, but just for every running back in the country. But, you know, I try not to focus on that kind of stuff. I know that, you know, there was a great legacy here. But, you know, I know that God has a plan for what I have and, you know, for everybody on this team. But, you know, I just want to be, you know, the best, you know, teammate and player that I can be, you know, for this team, for this university, for my family, for God. So I try not to think about that stuff. But, you know, it's awesome to be in a conversation like that.
Sam, go ahead.
Hey, Bijan, Coach Sark, you know, said last week we talked to him that he would like to try to get you about 20 touches a game on average, which is, I think, about double what you averaged last year. I'm curious, as you worked in this offense, how excited are you for how your role may shape up and increase this season?
And I'm super excited. I'll do whatever it takes to get this team, the wins and to do great in the season. But, I just, for this offseason, I try to work as hard as I can, get me back in football shape. So, if games like that do come, I'll be ready for it. And, nothing will, get in the way of that. But, we strive a lot on, straining as a team, straining as players. So when, opportunities like that do come, we'll be ready for it.
Kirk, go ahead.
Yeah, but John, how would you describe DeMarvion Overshown as a defender, and who's the hardest teammate you have to try to juke out of their shoes when you're making moves?
Man, you said it right there. I feel he's the, mechanism on that defense. He is the hardest, defender I got to get past. He's a really long, athletic football player. We all know he's a great linebacker, but just how long he is and how fast he is, laterally, it makes him, a big, huge threat, to any running back, any pass coverage, because he can take up so much of the field. But, DeMarvion is definitely, the player that I have to watch on that defense. Everybody on the defense is, great players, but, DeMarvion he's the man, when it comes to, trying to juke out or make a miss.
Danny, go ahead.
Maybe John. Some people like routine. Some people like being a little spontaneous. I'm kind of wondering, what do you think about Coach Sark kind of mixing things up with the practice schedule, time of the day, places you guys are practicing? How do you kind of like maybe not having things 10 o'clock every day over at Denny's?
Well, Coach Sark told us in a meeting, we're not going to be playing at the same time, every Saturday. We're always going to be playing at different times of the day, and we can't get comfortable in playing at the same time or practicing at the same time because there's so many nuances throughout the day, with weather and different situations or scenarios that we have to play in, whether it's nighttime, morning time, in the middle of the day, when it's 100 degrees outside. So he harps on us just not being comfortable, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, and just knowing what kind of atmosphere that we got to play in, whether it's at night or in the morning.
Joe, you're up.
Bijan, Coach Sark kept Stan Drayton around. Coach Drayton through the coaching switch. How important is it to you that he stuck around here for your second year? And is there anything different about him in a year or two, or is he still the same old Coach Drayton?
Man, Coach Drayton will never change. He will never change. That's one, coach that stays consistent, throughout his coaching. Coach Drayton obviously is the best, running back coach in the country, through, experience and who he's had as players. But, Coach Drayton, it's just, I thank God every day that he's here with us and that, he stayed because, just his experience, his expertise on what he's coaching. And, for me as a running back, from when I came from high school to now, I just look back and I'm just like, man, like it's a complete difference of how I play and, how we all play as running backs. So Coach Drayton is, definitely the coach that, I admire and that I try to learn from every day. He gets on me to be a better man and to be try to be the best football player I can be. So, it's a blessing that Coach Drayton stayed around, for another year or while I'm here.
Cole, go ahead.
Bijan, just want to get your thoughts on some of the wide receivers. You have Jay Witt finally healthy at a full speed. You have Troy O'Meary back. What have you seen from them, and what have you seen from the freshmen who are coming in and automatically making an impact like an Xavier?
Man, it's huge because, we harp on, these receivers, making plays down the field and just how much playmaking that they can make, it makes it easy, for the running game as well. And just to see, Jay Witt come back from injury, it's awesome to have his, skill set for this offense, and Xavier, coming in new and just already making a big impact, as a receiver. And I see a lot of potential, with the freshman receivers, Xavier, being, the guy that's the heart of that. But, even Josh Moore, just his leadership and how he can impact the game as well. It's huge for this whole offense. And when Troy O'Meary, knowing, how he gets back healthy, he's a problem to play against. So just all the receivers, doing their role. You know, those are all great guys to have, you know, as a receiving core.
Zed, go ahead.
Yeah, Bijan, you've had an interesting offseason with all the name, image, and likeness, the Heisman Trophy, preseason hype. How are you handling all of that? Because it's only going to get louder when you start putting up numbers.
Yeah, you know, with the name, image, likeness, you know, that's been an awesome opportunity. You know, here at compliance, you know, our compliance, you know, done an amazing job just, you know, guiding me through it and, you know, telling me and the teammates what we can and cannot do. But, you know, they let us do, you know, what's comfortable for us. And, you know, it's been awesome to be around them and learn from them. And, you know, with the offseason hype, you know, I'll just let God take care of that. You know, it's a blessing to have that kind of stuff. But, you know, I feel that everything's a team effort. And, you know, with the team success, then, you know, all the individual success that, you know, can come. So, you know, I just thank God every day that, you know, I'm here, even on this field playing. And, you know, I just want to, you know, be the best player I can for my team. And, you know, when all the other stuff comes, you know, during the season, then, you know, we'll focus on that.
Bijan, with first day in full padded practice, does anything really change? Is too much made of the first day in full pads? What was your experience like with today's first full padded practice?
Man, today was awesome. Just getting back in pads and, you know, going up against each other, you know, good on good, and just seeing our skill set, you know, show in front of, you know, our whole team and in front of each other. But I just love, you know, being in full pads because, you know, it gets to really show, you know, who can strain and, you know, a different mentality comes out of it and a different skill set definitely comes out. So, you know, it's been awesome practice. I can't wait to, you know, continue being in full pads, you know, whenever we do, and just keep striving for, you know, the top.
Got time for two last ones. Sam, go ahead.
Hey, Bijan, Keelan Robinson, since he's come in, what have been your impressions of him and what has he brought to the team, both in the meeting room and on the field?
Man, Keelan's a great player, man. You know, he brings, you know, a lot of experience, you know, to our room. You know, he's had Sark back at Alabama, but, you know, just his experience and how he handles himself, you know, he's been a great guy, a great player for me, a great friend, just to learn from him and, you know, what kind of expertise that he brings and, you know, the effort that he gives. And, you know, that's a gifted player as well. You know, that's just, you know, trying to be the best as well. So, you know, Keelan's been a huge, you know, huge person, a huge player in our room. And, you know, I can't wait to play with him, you know, during the season.
Kirk, go ahead.
Bijan, I know you've admired Reggie Bush, you know, growing up and took his number and all. I was curious if there's anybody you watch in the NFL now or even in college where you can pick up one or two things technique-wise to help your game.
Yeah, so, you know, I watch a lot of highlights to this day. I watch them on Exos, but, you know, one dude that I like to watch a lot is Delvin Cook. Just his contact balance and how he can explode out of the backfield. You know, I admire my game in that way, and more of Alvin Kamara just because he's a do-it-all back, and I feel that I can use my skill set to do a lot of different things in this offense, whether it's line that receiver, running routes out of the backfield, you know, just like how they do. So I just love how, you know, their games, you know, I can complement my game to their games and, you know, just take a lot of skill sets from them in the NFL. But those are two dudes that I just love to watch and love to, you know, take away pieces from their game.
Last one, Jeff.
Bijan, Keondre was just telling us how he feels like Jake Majors has really matured, you know, throughout the off season. How have you seen Jake take that experience he got, you know, in the K-State game and then in the bowl game? How have you seen him kind of parlay that throughout the spring and the off season and maybe give himself that shot of confidence to kind of be that quarterback of the offensive line playing center?
Man, you know, when Jake got that start, you know, against K-State, I just told him just make sure you know, execute the opportunity, take the opportunity. You know, God put you here for a reason. And, you know, whenever you do get that opportunity, you know, use it to the best of your ability. And I feel ever since that game, you know, he showed what he can do, you know, in college football. And, you know, in the offseason, his leadership just stepped up, you know, completely different level. And just how he is on the offensive line, how he makes calls, you know, how quick it is, how efficient he is. You know, it's been awesome to see because, you know, when he's the centerpiece of the line, our whole line is, you know, very good, very talented. And, you know, Jake is a big, huge leader for that to make this whole line, you know, come together and gel really well. So I feel he's grown in every part of his game, and you know he'll just keep continuing to get better.